Good evening and salutations, my Beyond the Gates fans. So, I want to start off with Kat for a hot minute. Because here's the thing about Kat. I feel like she is a female Spencer Cassadine from General Hospital, right? The one thing that I surprisingly liked is just how, I guess, vulnerable she can be. Showed a different side to her. After she's up there talking to um, Chelsea about this, purse line or whatever that they're going to be sitting there launching their own business that they're going to be doing, and kind of being like, hey, listen. At first, she's frustrated with Chelsea because Chelsea doesn't want to sit there and pull the rug from under Danny. She says that Danny's sitting there living through her vicariously. Um, it's almost kind of an insult in a sense. She's pretty much like, she doesn't really have a lot going on, and she's kind of like living through her experience and kind of like recapturing her glory days, which is like, that's not something that I've seen. Here's the thing, I've seen parents do that, but it's also pretty sad. And I think if Danny actually overheard that, not only would she be hurt, but she'd be insulted. Anyway, they're talking about it back and forth, and Chelsea tries. I mean, Kat, she has an idea about how to do it, so it won't be as bad. Pretty much trying to make it seem like all the stuff that you taught me how to do over the years and stuff like that, I'm doing it. Like I'm taking all the lessons that you taught me, and I'm moving into my own, her own career, whatever, with the guidance of Danny. So it won't be as bad of a blow, you know. So I was like, can't believe I'm saying this, but it's actually pretty clever. It might actually work. Because, if she just sits there and says, well, I don't want to sit there and do modeling anymore, and I want to sit there and kind of like make my own brand, she's obviously going to be hurt by it. But if she includes her, like, you taught me to sit there and kind of like, I don't know exactly how she put it, but it's like, you taught me how to sit there and be a very strong, independent woman or whatever, and, I'm using all the tools that you taught me how to sit there and do this business because of you, and we work. Um, But she winds up practicing it over and over again. There's a scene where she's talking to Jacob, and it goes absolutely nowhere. Like, there was no point of this scene even existing other than to just, you know, run down the clock essentially. So you got that going on. You got, after that, she winds up meeting Tomas. Now, apparently she's been trying to contact Tomas for a hot minute. She felt like she hasn't really been able to reach him, like not ghosting her, but like essentially being a little kind of distant. And then when they do see each other, she gets right to the point. She's like, you're hesitant about being physical with me. And not to sit there and say that she's ready to go into the bedroom, but, a little kiss here and there just to show each other affection wouldn't hurt. Um, and I like that because, she's always been direct. Snobby, bougie, kind of bitchy. But in this one, she's being a little more vulnerable and just being like, hey, what's going on? And talking about it like an adult. So they talk it out. She even sits there and says, like, she thinks it's because, the fact that she's a virgin. But, they talk it out, they work it out or whatever. And, yeah, it's, it's a nice scene in the fact that she's being vulnerable and not somebody that's always confident about, because I feel like, around her friends or her followers or whatever, it's completely different. And while she's doing that, she got Eva. Listen, okay, here's the thing. I get it. Eva look good, right? But I feel like Eva is trying way, way, way too hard um, to kind of get his attention. You want to get his attention, but you're sitting there telling him oh, well, I don't want to sit there and, give her a reason to hate on me since, I kind of work for the family and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, Eva, so what exactly are you doing? Are you just flirting to flirt? Are you flirting to get with him? Are you just trying to get on her skin? Are you even listening to your mother? What are you doing at this point? Because honestly, to tell you the truth, after that specific point, we don't see her again at all. We do not see her for the rest of the scene. So it probably made me think, like, what was the point of you being here? Like, seriously, what was the point of you being here? Um, got that. We got Joey. So, okay, before that winds up happening, you have Vanessa and Doug just, hanging out or whatever. Now, Doug is getting texts from Randy being like, hey, listen, you're going to come to the casino, you're going to spend some money, you're going to make some money or whatever. Just trying to get him to go to, like, gamble and stuff. So, while that's going on, Vanessa's there peeping it, and she's like, who is that, your side piece? I'm like, I know this chick did not just say that. I know her ass did not just say that. But he leaves, and Joey comes in. Now, at first, she's like, oh, well, I'm about to sit there and go, whatever. And he invites himself anyway. But he tells her, hey, listen, I need your expertise. I want to get a place for my mother. And for some odd reason, that softened her up or whatever. And so she's like, hey, all right, listen, let's do some business, whatever. So they're talking. Doug comes back because Doug apparently forgot something. I don't know if he was at the hospital or he was talking to Randy. I don't even remember. No, he wasn't talking to Randy. He came back to get his keys. And as he was coming back, he was like, he saw Joey with Vanessa. So he comes over there, he's like, what's going on? And, he finds out that meeting his wife or whatever, and she's like, well, it's kind of a busy season for her, so I don't know if she's going to have time to be fitting people in. And Joey's like, well, it's a good thing I'm lucky or whatever, and, says that he's going to be working with her to find a house or whatever for his mother. Right? And he is just so uncomfortable with that. So he leaves. Joey eventually leaves. And Diego comes in, and Diego's like, hey, I see you not rocking the cradle anymore. Are you rocking the grave or something? Are you robbing the grave or something like that? Some, joke or whatever that he made, some remark. And, she's like, what are you doing here? Like, you're all jealous and everything like that. And, she pretty much says, like, yo, listen, I will be with whoever I want to be with. And then, he makes it off like, oh, what you want to do right now. And he's like, oh, I want to sit there and work out. And so they find some spot or whatever, and they wind up doing it. And I'm just like, I don't even know what to make of that. But the key point that I'm actually excited about is that, in a sense, I was right about two things. One, and I said this in my memory stream, I knew that Joey was going to sit there and try to get close to his wife. This is to kind of remind him, like, just to kind of put that pressure on him. I knew that was going to end up happening, right? So, Randy, I think, either wound up meeting Doug, or they're talking or whatever, and, he gets him to go to the casino. You go to the casino, he's winning and everything like that, right? Joey's sitting there looking like he's pissed off, like, I don't want him to sit there and kind of pay me back, because if he pays me back, he doesn't owe me, then he's harder to be my puppet or whatever. He's like, you know what, let him win today. Tomorrow we're going to sit there and clean him out, right? And I'm kind of just like, you could have just, I guess that works a little bit better, because I'm like, you could have just, made sure that he started to lose, but I guess it's one of those things, it's like you want to drag it out a little bit with him, make him feel like he was on a high street, and then just make him, like, lose, like, double, whatever, right? So you got that going on. You got, at the Lonnie, okay, I'm going to be honest, the stuff with Anita, it just doesn't work for me. And it's fine. I feel like it's probably more of a generational gap, right? Like, there's some real cringe shit that she's not there doing at the end with Naomi and the rapping and singing, and I'm just like, oh, that's gonna be in my head rent free for like at least a couple of days. Um, I'm not even gonna go over those things. You watched it, you see exactly what I'm talking about. If you didn't watch it, well, I don't know what to tell you. Like I said, it's a generational thing, right? So, like, somebody like me of my age, I probably wouldn't really appreciate it, but my aunt's grandmother, so on and so forth, whatever, they would appreciate that. Naomi isn't up there trying to decide on what she should do. She talks to Jacob about if she should sue the firm. If she sues the firm, that may bring a spotlight to the family. And then there's the whole other Duprees, and maybe the victims are going to get overshadowed. So she talks to Jacob. Doesn't get anywhere. Jacob does. He just seems like he just doesn't have any answers for anybody. He doesn't have any answers for Chelsea. He doesn't have any answers for his wife. God just does not have answers. And that was pretty much the extent of Naomi, minus the whole cringe thing. So you got that going on, right? You got, oh, Blondie was not there talking to Anita about some sort of cop fun or something fun with the police department. I don't know. It was kind of boring, didn't really go anywhere. Maybe I'll go down the line or whatever. But she did acknowledge that, hey, listen, Jacob was just doing his job. It's no ill will. Good, because you didn't act like that before, but whatever. Um, now, Jacob was meant to talking to his dad about either his name is Marcellus or Malone or something like that. The dick. It's not there saying, he's giving him a hard time. I just don't know about him. And then he brings up something not right about him. We were sitting there staking out the alley. We saw Joey give some guy a bag of money or take a bag of money or whatever, right? And Marlone's like he won't do anything. I mean, like he's like a dirty cop or anything like that. And he's like, hey, listen, he's earned the stripes or whatever. Just give him time, right? But then he eventually talks to Malone, who is having his crusty ass feet on a desk. Like, bro, I don't care if you've been working here for like 40 plus years. If you don't get your goddamn feet, like, but he talks to him. He's like, listen, I get it, it's hazing or whatever, but the guy's earned the stripes. That's my son or whatever. So, you know, he pretty much gives him a warning. But the warning doesn't even like it makes sense. He's like, listen, something happens to my boy. That's my flesh and blood. I'm coming for you, right? And I'm like, did he make a threat like he was coming at him in a threatening way? All he practically said was that he was hazing him, treating him kind of like crap or whatever, sending him out to donut runs or whatever. That did not translate into a threat, unless I missed something. But with that being said, he calls Joey. He's like, yo, listen, you're making my job a lot harder, bro. You can't be out there in these streets just in broad daylight, doing shady stuff and bags of money and stuff like that. What are you doing? Joey's like, yo, listen, this is what I pay you for. Handle it. Okay? Like, handle it or handle him. And I think that's where the connection went from. But I'm like, you see what I'm saying, though? Like, he pretty much is like, okay, if you gotta handle the record, do what you gotta do. I pay you money. It's this way you can, you know, keep me out of jail. I make money. I pass money off to you. This is how I've been working for years, bro. Um, I feel like there's some other stuff going on happening. Maybe that's about it. I haven't read a whole goddamn book. I don't even feel like pausing this at this point. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. Now, if I missed anything, write in the comment section below. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll talk about all the shows, of course, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, Young and Restless, and of course, Beyond the Gates. Um, yeah, I'll see you in the next video.